Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and I'm here to talk about books. This vlog begins with me actually picking a TBR jar prompt. So that is the first clip that you're going to see. I decided when I made the jar that I was going to pull a TBR prompt in my monthly wrap-ups, but I've actually changed my mind and I think I'm just going to do quarterly wrap-ups and do like vlogs or whatever other types of videos that I want between then, because the monthly wrap-ups are kind of a lot. It's a lot. I don't want to fill up my channel with me talking about all of these books that were just like meh to me. So quarterly wrap-ups will be my go-to, and then I can talk about like the best books that I read and then maybe a couple of the ones that I didn't like and why, and then I can share stats with you guys. And it's actually perfect timing because I did not do an April wrap-up this month. I decided to just do 2 vlogs instead because that's what I was feeling at the time. My first quarterly wrap-up, which you guys will be getting next month, will have the first 4 months of the year. So let's jump back in time to when I pulled my TBR prompt and we figured out what the first book was that we were going to be reading in this vlog. I'm gonna get one that's kind of like in the middle-ish. Okay, so we got a pink one. A book that has family in the title. We got my laptop open here, so I think I will get started. So I have Fable open and I have Libby open. Let me see if there's anything on my want to read list. It would be easier if I could just search through my list. Okay, so we have Such a Lovely Family. Let me see if that is available on Libby. Okay, so she only has 2 books available at my library, so let's see if there's something else. Friends. That would have been perfect, but it says friends, not family. What if we search family and then we sort by suspense, thriller, and so we have 1 title showing.
Bruh.
How to Kill Your Family. That's not what I was hoping for. That was one that I was thinking, The Family Remains by Lisa Joel, but I would have to reread The Family Upstairs because honestly, I don't really remember it. Oh, this one's an option. Okay, so The Wrong Family. The Family Game. I have heard of that one. No, stop it. Tag it. Not a Happy Family. Ooh, The Family Experiment by John Mars. When did this come out? I don't feel like I've ever heard of this one by Sally Hepworth. 2018. Maybe? So we do have somewhat of a list going here now. I picked out 5 books. And honestly, I think the ones that really stick out to me the most would be The Family Experiment by John Mars. But that says number 3 in a series. Oh, they turned the 1 into a series? Interesting. So I think we'll do Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. We'll start off trying to read this one. And then if I'm not liking it or it's not interesting me, I do have some other options that we can go back to. Last night I started on Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina, And there are so many characters in this book. I'm having to take notes to keep track of everybody because it's a family of a mom, a dad, oldest daughter, middle son, and youngest daughter. And then we've got the house cleaning lady. We have, I think it's the dad's sister and her mom and her aunt. There's just like so many people involved in this book so far. I did read to page 72, which is chapter 13. That is where I'm at right now. It starts off by introducing you to this neighborhood where everybody's like really rich, huge houses, everything's fancy, they have nice cars. And we're entering into the home and we're finding that 2 people have been murdered. One of them was, I think, like strangled, and then the other one stabbed a bunch of times. So that's the prologue. And you know that there's a murder that's taken place and you don't know who did it. And then we jump back in time, chapter 1, to Easter Sunday when the 3 adult children are coming over to their parents' house for Easter with their spouses. There was some conflict that took place. That is kind of like what's happening so far. And then you're getting this perspective from the dad's sister who was sick and couldn't make it to their Easter Sunday, but she seems kind of sketchy, not gonna lie. Kendall will tell you when a lot of other people have highlighted things, and all of the stuff that the dad's sister says that's kind of like a little sketchy, those are all highlighted by a lot of readers. But I think it's one of those situations where the book is trying to set you up to think that it's one person and then it's somebody else that you completely did not expect. I do have a theory about who it could possibly be, but I don't want to share that because I don't want to have any spoilers in this video. But honestly, all of them seem like they might have some sort of motive, honestly. And it just seems like it's a classic whodunit mystery. Today I do have work, and then today is Friday, so we are approaching the weekend, and I am really hoping that I can get some reading done this weekend. The only plans that I have for this weekend is that I'm going with my friend to take my little cousin out to see Lilo and Stitch because she's obsessed with Lilo and Stitch, and that came out today. So we're going to be doing that. But then as far as the rest of my weekend goes, I'll probably just be playing it by ear. And I do want to have a pretty relaxing day, probably on Sunday. As of right now, I have nothing booked that day except relax and read. And I love those types of weekends. Those are my favorite. So yeah, until I have more thoughts, I will see you guys later.
So, call anytime, day or night. I'll come.
I am back from my girls' day and we had so much fun. Lilo and Stitch was such a cute movie. I really liked Lilo and Stitch, like the original animated one, and this live action one is sort of the same thing except that they did add a couple of things in here and there, but it does follow along the same like storyline, and some of the scenes are repeated in the live action one. It was just really cute. After the movie was over, we went to this restaurant called Cold Beers and Cheeseburgers, which I have actually never been to myself, but I have seen them around Arizona everywhere. My husband, when he worked as a chef, had actually helped open one of the locations for them, and he said it was really good. And I have been wanting to try it ever since. So that was delicious. I loved it. I definitely could see myself going back, but that was a lot of food. Like, I'm so full. I probably am going to be set on my meal for like the next 4 years at this point. That's how I feel. But I have gotten to page 208, or 61% of the way through this book. And I'm surprised to say that we still, like, it's still not entirely clear who the murderer is in this book. Like I said, way too many characters and way too many points of view. So I'm definitely having to like keep track of that separately. There is also a detective point of view in this one, which I've expressed before I'm not the biggest fan of. So those parts I'm like, whatever. But yeah, the rest of it, the storyline has been pretty interesting. The fact that honestly, I haven't been able to figure it out myself who it is, because I'll like flip back and forth of, oh, I think it was this person. No, I think it was this person now. For the rest of my night, I do kind of just want to sit here and read this book and see if maybe I can finish it tonight. I also wanted to get to a book for the Buzzword title and cover challenge, but I still have to figure out which books I'm going to be reading for those. I am going to get back into reading because I have been waiting to kind of jump back into this one. He's got his octopus.
That's the old classic.
He's just carrying it around.
What you doing?
Shad?
Is that your baby?
You're so cute, dude.
Where's he
What are
going?
you doing? Yeah. You can't eat with that in your mouth. He's all looking, you see him, babe?
Yeah.
He's looking at his food like, ooh, there you go, go boy.
If you hear any noise or anything like TV, any of that in the background, my little cousin is here right now. So I did finish Not a Happy Family early this morning, and then I have been just lounging around. My uncle and I did go and get coffee. I impulsively decided to cut my bangs, which I'm not going to show you guys because they're just a little bit too short for my liking. So they're pinned up until they grow out. But yeah, so that's how my day has been going so far. I didn't really like Not a Happy Family, honestly. I had the feeling that I wasn't going to like it when the detective point of view was introduced. I felt that every single person was explored and every single person had a motive. And so when they come out and tell you who actually did the murder, I just was not surprised, because I was just like, all right, who cares? I would say overall, I'll probably give this one like 2.5 stars, just because I didn't care for it very much. And now for the Buzzword cover challenge. So the two options that I have picked out for the Buzzword cover challenge, which is Eyes. The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim, or the other one is May Fly by CJ Lead. So I'm not decided on which one I want to read, because they both have been very interesting to me. So I think what we're going to do is flip a coin, because that'll make the decision for me. We will do heads for The Eyes Are the Best Part and tails for May Fly. Okay. Okay. And we've got heads. I'm working in office this week, but I did start on The Eyes Are the Best Part on Sunday, and I am at page 137, which is 49%. I honestly was expecting there to be a lot more horror in this book so far, and there really hasn't been. I am still really enjoying it, and I am wanting to continue reading, so I'm pretty much flying through it. I mean, not as fast as like some other books that I've read, but given the fact that I've been working and that I'm just reading on like my breaks or before or after work, that is pretty dang far for me. So yeah. Our main character's name is Ji-won, and she is of Korean American descent, and then she has her sister Ji-hyun, I think is how you say her name, and then their mom, which they call Uma, and then their dad, which they call Appa. But their dad has recently left their family to be with another woman, and so she is really struggling with that whole thing and like the new family dynamic that they're having to face. And then also her mom starts dating somebody new named George, who is an American man, and he is just like the most racist, like insensitive piece of shit, and they're really struggling to accept him in their lives, which I understand completely. Like, he doesn't even try to say their names right, he just nicknamed them, and then he will like make all these derogatory comments about like Asian women and stuff like that, and it's really obvious that he's pretty prejudiced, and the only reason that he has interest in her mom is because of her race. So yeah, he's very shallow. In the beginning of the book, her mom is making them a fish dinner, and she is eating the eyeballs because I guess in their culture, eating the eyes is supposed to be like good luck. And so she's eating the eyes, and it's become this whole thing. And then at like one point, I think the next time that they have fish, which I think could have been the next night, if I recall, but Ji-won actually decides that she wants to eat the eye, and then she kind of just becomes obsessed with eyeballs, and specifically the eyeballs of the mom's boyfriend. She is like obsessed with his eyes and has like these crazy dreams, and when she's around him, all she can think about are his eyes, and I think she wants to eat them. So yeah, that has been pretty interesting, but there hasn't been a lot of horror. Like I said, it just seems like a domestic, you know, book about family. So that's what it's been so far, but I'm hoping that we'll get to the horror here soon. We'll see what happens. But yeah, right now I'm working and I am on my lunch break, so I do plan on reading a little bit while I'm on my lunch, and then I am probably going to read some later today. We'll see if I can finish it like today or tomorrow, and then I'll give you guys an update once I have one.
Look at this little princess. She's so cute. Hi, Kiki. Hi, Mama. Oh.
I just finished The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim, and I think I'm going to be rating it 4 stars because I did really enjoy this book and it did keep me captivated. And then, as I was telling you guys in my last clip, there wasn't a lot of horror, and the writing style was really good. It was almost too descriptive. So I feel like it's pretty obvious given the cover of this book that we are talking about eating eyeballs here, and especially with it starting out talking about eating the fish eyes and how it's good luck. So I feel that that is not a spoiler. Some of the descriptions about the character eating the eyes was like gut-wrenching, and I'm not one to react to books in that way. Like I have a hard time finding something that actually grosses me out unless I'm reading an extreme horror novel, which this is not classified as that. And reading her in detail talking about the character eating eyeballs was like, ugh, so gross. I mean, I don't know what it says about me, but I was able to eat dinner and like be perfectly fine. But while I'm reading it, the description, I was like, ugh, disgusting. One question that I found myself asking toward the end of the book is like, who's actually the villain in this story? Because honestly, all of these characters, except for I think like the little sister probably, all of them were unlikable. Everyone was a shitty person. And I don't know, they all had like major flaws. So yeah, I thought for sure when we were going into it that George was supposed to be the person that we didn't like. But honestly, like toward the end of the book, I was just like, they're all not good people. I mean, even the mom, she gets portrayed as like this weak person who doesn't have any backbone and that like relies on men throughout her life, you know, but she also is putting these men before her children, and she's very selfish and like manipulative towards her kids, and she's not like a great mom. The end of this book I found to be just a little bit questionable. I don't think it was the best writing towards the end. Just the kind of way that it was set up was a little bit clunky, and I felt like some of the decisions that were made were geared toward making it easier for the plot to happen. But there was also some details that were thrown in there that I was like, there was absolutely no point in that. I will say though, throughout the majority of the book, Monica Kim's writing is very detailed. It's very good. It's easy to read, easy to fly through, and I did appreciate that a lot, and it kept me interested in wanting to keep flipping the pages on it. So I definitely appreciate that, but I don't think that this is like a perfect book. There were still a lot of things that I had issues with. I found some of the characters to be kind of hypocritical, especially Jawan. Like some of the things that she felt towards the other characters in the book, and then she would literally contradict it with her own actions. And I also can see how like this is supposed to be her descent into madness, but at the same time, another issue that I had with it was, I know that Jiwan is supposed to be a college student. Like she's supposed to be in college, and then her younger sister is the one that's in high school. But I felt like her interactions with her peers and the people that she was in college with, it just felt really juvenile, and like some of the conversations that they were having just felt it like I was reading YA, and I kept forgetting that she's a college student and not like a high school student. So that was kind of bothersome. Her friend Jeffrey, I did not like him. I did not like him at all, and he was a huge red flag to me. So if you've read the book, we can talk about that, but I don't want to jump into anything here and give anything away, but I did not like Jeffrey. So yeah, with that, I'm going to be wrapping up this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you like this video, please don't forget to like it. Don't forget to subscribe, comment down below if you have anything to say, and maybe ring the bell if you would like to be notified when I upload. But until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye!